Hi students, I am Dr. B. Kalyan Swami. My stand in the field is 31 years. I am in the field since 1989. At present, I am working as senior zoology lecturer in Narayana Medical Academy. Today, I am going to deal with very important chapter, body fluids and circulation. From this chapter, there is a possibility of appearing one or two questions in NEET exam. This chapter includes several sub-chapters like what is circulation, then blood, mechanism of blood coagulation, blood groups, lymph, modes of circulation, human circulatory system that includes structure of heart and function of heart, then regulation of cardiac cycle, then electrocardiogram, and finally disorders of circulation. What is circulation? What is the need for circulation? In all living organisms, each and every cell requires supply of nutrients, supply of oxygen for production of energy. At the same time, in each cell, as a result of metabolic activities, some waste products forms like carbon dioxide, ammonia, nitrogenous waste forms, they has to be eliminated from the cell. How this is possible? For this, all living organisms, they are adapted to circulation of body fluids. Through that circulation of body fluids only, these nutrients are taken to the cell, gases are transported to the cell. In the same manner, nitrogenous waste are carried to excretory organs from where they are eliminated. That only we are calling it a body fluids and circulation. In each and every living organism, if you go to even a single celled animal like amoeba, how the circulation takes place? Here the cytoplasm is granular. And in the cytoplasm, because of streaming movements of particles, these food particles all that are separated to different parts. It is called as protoplasmic circulation. Protoplasm is doing that job. Then coming to metazoans like poriferans, cnidarians. In poriferans, well known to you, a definite canal system is present. Water is flowing through the different channels. In the cnidarians also flow of water into the body, out the body. That only helps in circulation. And coming to next, first time a true circulatory system appeared for first time in annelids. In annelids, a true circulatory system appeared for first time. In higher animals like vertebrates, what are body fluids? Major body fluid is what? Blood. Then plasma. Then serum. Then extracellular fluid. And finally lymph. Now, major body fluid is blood. All the remaining are the components of blood only. Blood minus blood corpuscles is called as plasma. Plasma minus clotting proteins like fibrinogen, prothrombin, that only called as serum. Then a part of the blood which is flowing in spaces into the tissues. A part of the blood which diffuses out from the blood vessels and flowing, that is called what? Extracellular fluid or tissue fluid and most of the lymph again absorbed back into venules. The part of the ECF which is flowing through the lymphatic system, that only called as lymph. These are the major body fluids. Coming to first to discuss with blood. Blood is commonly called as red river of our body. Blood only mainly plays a key role in transport of nutrients, transport of gases, transport of hormones, and blood through via blood only the nitrogenous waste are taken from site of synthesis to your excretory organs. Blood only helps in maintaining homeostasis, internal body equilibrium by maintaining temperature at constant level. Includes 55% of plasma, only 45% of formed elements. Again in this 55% of plasma, 90 to 92% water only present. Remaining 6 to 8% includes proteins, some electrolytes. Here mainly protein composition of the plasma includes protein. It includes plasma proteins includes serum albumins, serum globulins. At the same time, some coagulating proteins like fibrinogen, prothrombin, heparin, which is an anticoagulant. What is the composition of this? 90 to 92% water only present. In remaining percentage, what are present? Albumins are present. Globulins are present. Fibrinogen, prothrombin, heparin. Next coming to some electrolyte like sodium, potassium, bicarbonates, all these are present. These are electrolytes. Important proteins are albumins. These albumins, they are having an osmotic property and they help in uptaking of tissue fluid back into circulation. Whenever a deficiency of albumins occurs in the body, in the blood, whenever more albumins passes out through the urine, what happens? Osmotic pressure does not develop. As a result, tissue fluid accumulates in the tissue that leads to the enlargement of tissue. That only we are calling it as edema. Next, globulins are also very important. 3 types, there are alpha, beta, gamma globulins. Gamma globulins are nothing but immunoglobulins. What are immunoglobulins? Well known, they are nothing but antibodies. They plays a key role in defensive mechanism. Then fibrinogen, prothrombin, these are secreted by liver and they are released into the plasma. They occur in inactive form. They plays a key role in blood clotting, blood coagulation. Heparin is well known to you, which is an anticoagulant. Along with these, sodium ions, potassium ions, bicarbonates that are also present. These are electrolytes. Then coming to formed elements, 3 types of formed elements. What are 3 types? RBC, WBC, platelets or thrombocytes. RBC are also called as erythrocytes. WBC are leukocytes and platelets are thrombocytes. Coming to RBC, red blood corpuscles. Why they are called red blood corpuscles? These cells consist an iron pigment called hemoglobin that gives red color to the blood, RBC. That's why they are called about red blood corpuscles. The WBC, they are without this pigment. That's why they appear as white, colorless. That's why they are called white blood corpuscles. And platelets Again, we will discuss later on. Coming to RBC in an healthy person, per cubic ml of blood, 5.0 to 5.5 millions of RBC are present. 5.0 to 5.5 millions of RBC are present in it. RBC of human beings, RBC of mammals are different from RBC of other vertebrates. In other vertebrates, RBC they are oval in shape, they are elliptical, they are nucleated. They are with a nucleus. In other vertebrates. Then how the RBC are human beings in mammals? They are structurally they are differing. In the human beings in mammals, they are biconcave. They are biconcave. We are biconvex. They are circular. As well as biconcave and without nucleus. As mammals are with high rate of metabolic activity, this is an adaptation. Why biconcave? To decrease the size of the cell. When size of the cell decreases, surface area to volume ratio increases, then efficient diffusion, absorption, more transport of gases is possible. If it consists nucleus and other cell organelles, in this RBC metabolic activities takes place, then some oxygen is utilized there only, then no question of transporting oxygen to the different cells. Here, RBC are the only cells in our body which carries oxygen to each and every cell of our body, but themselves they does not utilizes any oxygen. This change in the shape of the RBC and not having nucleus and cell organelles, that is adaptation seen in mammals, human beings. Because mammals are with high metabolic rate, they requires more transport of oxygen, that's why it is. Then this RBC consists already told a pigment, respiratory pigment is called as hemoglobin. In an healthy person, in 100 ml of blood, 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin is present. 1 gram of hemoglobin is capable of carrying 1.34 ml of oxygen. This hemoglobin, it is a tetramer with 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains. It is a respiratory pigment. Next, this RBC, production of RBC is called about erythropoiesis. In early stages during embryonic development, first RBC forms from yolk sac. Then liver takes a charge. After liver, spleen. Finally, after birth, throughout the life, that production of RBC charge was taken by the red bone marrow. Okay, so this is about RBC. Why RBC are different in shape? Why they are enucleated? From here you can get one application type of question. Then coming to what? WBC are leukocytes. Here WBC are leukocytes. They constitutes only 1% of total blood cell count. Their number varies from 6 to 8,000 per cubic ml. They are colorless due to absence of pigment hemoglobin. And compared with RBC are with a definite shape, but WBC are sometimes spherical or irregularly shaped. WBC are nucleated, whereas RBC in mammals, human beings are enucleated. Lifespan of RBC in human beings is 120 days. But WBC lifespan is they are very short lived, only few days. And WBC are capable of squeezing through the narrow capillaries, capable of independent movement, not like that of RBC. Movement of WBC is called as diapedesis. Diapedesis is the movement of WBC. What is that? Diapedesis is the movement of WBC. And WBCs or leukocytes, they can be categorized into two groups based on presence or absence of granules. Some WBC consists some specific granules. They give color with certain dyes, acidic dyes, basic dyes, neutral dyes. Based on that, again that are divided. First, they are categorized into what? Granulocytes and agranulocytes. I think very clear to you. Granulocytes means some WBC are having granules which are giving color with some specific dyes. Agranulocytes, they does not consist any granule. They does not give color with any dye. Further, based on the color with which they are giving, these granulocytes are divided into acidophils, basophils, and neutrophils. Acidophils, basophils, and neutrophils. 3 comes under category granulocytes. They are having granules. Then monocytes and lymphocytes. They comes under category of agranulocytes. No doubt, out of all formed elements which are abundant means what? RBC only. Coming to WBC, they accounts for only 1% of total blood cell count. Among WBC, neutrophils are abundant. That constitute to 60% like that. Basophils are least abundant. Their percentage only 0.5 to 1. Acidophils are 2 to 3%. Monocytes are approximately 5%. Lymphocytes, they are approximately 30%. Acidophils, basophils, notice sometimes question may be asked. All these WBC based on these arrange these cells based on their percentage, starting from least basophils, then comes what? Acidophils 2 to 3 acidophils, then comes monocytes, after the lymphocytes which are more abundant, neutrophils are more abundant. Then what is the distinguishing character between the different WBC? Here granulocytes and agranulocytes, they can be distinguished by the presence of granules or absence by giving color. What is the distinguishing character? The nucleus is the distinguishing character. The nucleus in acidophils is how it is? Bilobed, connected by a chromatin filament. Whereas in basophils, the nucleus is irregular in shape. This is a basophil. And then coming to next, neutrophil, 3 to 5 lobed. That is a neutrophil. As the nucleus is variously lobed, granulocytes can be also called as polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Then coming to the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, they are identified by large nucleus. Almost fills the entire cell. This is the lymphocyte. Then coming to monocytes, They are characterized by the presence of a reniform nucleus. Reniform means what? Kidney shaped, bean shaped nucleus. Identifying character among all WBC is, all the WBC what? Shape of the nucleus. Based on the granules and not having granules, we can differentiate granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are also called as polymorphonuclear lymphocytes. This is what acidophil, basophil, neutrophil, lymphocyte, and here I will write a monocyte. This question may be also asked, my dear students. Then coming to acidophils, they give color with acidic dyes like eosin. That's why they are also called what? Eosinophils. They are also called what? Eosinophils. They are related with what? Allergy. Their number increases at the time of allergy or infections. Increase of acidophils only called as eosinophilia. Cough. Eosinophilia. Then basophils, they secretes, basophil secretes serotonin, bradykinins, histamines. What is a serotonin? It is a vasoconstrictor. Bradykinins and histamines, they increase the cellular permeability. They are vasodilators, also increases the diameter of capillaries, thereby allows the large macrophages to the site of injury. In that way, they are playing a key role. This basophils only, on entering into connective tissue, they changes to mast cells. They changes to what? Mast cells, well known to you. Then coming to neutrophils and monocytes. These neutrophils and monocytes, they are phagocytic in nature. Polymorphonuclear phagocytic cells are neutrophils. MNPs, monomorphonuclear phagocytes are monocytes. Both are phagocytic in nature. Neutrophils, they are commonly called as microscopic policemen of the body. Microscopic policemen, because they are fighting against the infection. Microscopic policemen. And monocytes, they are commonly called what? Internal scavengers. They engulf the dead tissue, damaged tissue, dead bacteria, dead microbes. Keep the tissue very clean. That's why they are called as internal scavengers. All this we are again studying in the tissues. Then these neutrophils and monocytes are phagocytic in nature. Coming to lymphocytes, these lymphocytes, they plays a key role in immune mechanism. They are of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes are responsible for humoral immunity. B lymphocytes only on exposure to antigen produces antibodies. T lymphocytes are responsible for cell-mediated immunity. Both B and T lymphocytes are responsible for what? Maintaining immunity, maintaining resistance. Maintaining what? Resistance. B lymphocytes are responsible for humoral immunity. T lymphocytes are responsible for cell-mediated immunity. Then coming last to what? Platelets. Platelets. These platelets are also called as what? Thrombocytes. They are not true cells. Why they are not true cells? They are nothing but they are the fragments of some specialized cells present in bone marrow. which are called as megakaryocytes. These fragments, broken fragments are these megakaryocytes of bone marrow only platelets. They are irregular in shape. Their lifespan also only few days. Their number is 3 to 4 lakhs per cubic ml. What is the function of these platelets? The platelets, they plays a key role in blood clotting mechanism, blood coagulation mechanism.